Well, percenters, welcome back. Coach Tommy. The Brooklyn Nets are breaking analytics. Haven't watched much of the Nets, so hopefully this video is good. AlexHoops.
To deal with their fair share of off-court drama and struggles, but it's getting pretty difficult to deny just how good this team is now that they seem to be firing on all cylinders. They, of course, moved on from former head coach
The team is only as good as KD and Kyrie make them.
Steve Nash in favor of Jacques Vaughn, and the results have been speaking for themselves. Prior to the firing of Steve Nash, they had the 19th ranked offense with 111.6 points per 100 possessions, the 28th ranked defense with 118.3, and the 28th ranked net rating with negative 6.7. But since November 1st, the Brooklyn Nets are the 6th best offense in the NBA with a 115.7 offensive rating, the 9th best defensive rating with 110.4, and the 4th best net rating with 5.3.
Can a coach really change it that much, or did the players figure it out? Did KD and Kyrie step up? Injuries, players filling out a role. Systems depends on what Jacques Vaughn is really doing, how accountable he makes the players. Sometimes a coach can really switch it up, but I don't think Steve Nash was that bad, or Jacques Vaughn is this good.
Is all of this to say that Steve Nash is the reason why the Nets were playing poorly? No, there's probably a ton of other factors that played into this, like the fact that they are finally reintegrating Seth Curry back into the rotation after his injury, and Joe Harris started to return to form. Kyrie rejoined the team.
For a while.
And overall, this
if you get two great shooters back,
team just started to click.
Joe Harris, great shooter. Seth Curry, great shooter. Kyrie, great shooter. KD, great shooter.
A lot more under the leadership
Ben
of
Simmons.
Jacques Vaughn. Sometimes a locker room just needs a new face to rally.
Bad shooter.
When the old coach loses the locker room.
Patty Mills, great shooter.
They went from having an offense that leaned heavily on the talents of their two primary shot creators in Kevin Durant and Kyrie to instead now having a more egalitarian approach to their offense, predicated on unselfishness and making sure...
Egalitarian my ass. There's no way KD shouldn't be getting the most shots, Kyrie getting the second most shots, or them two getting the bulk, 80% of the shots.
Everything works together in conjunction with one another to make...
Maybe not the shots, like the possessions, the decisions, all of that stuff.
...this offense work. I want to focus
like 70%.
A little bit on how the Nets are generating their points. Right now, the vast majority of their shots are coming either from beyond the arc or in the mid-range, with only 29.3% of their shots.
That's KD and Kyrie operating that mid-range, man.
Coming at the rim. Their perimeter scoring could honestly not be any better. A huge part of their perimeter scoring game has been predicated on the screening that Nicholas Claxton provides for them. He's really smart about timing his screens when ball handlers are bringing the ball up the floor
Transition
in order
screens.
to set them up to dribble into an easy rhythm jumper. His screens seem to do a really good job of catching defenses off guard, and if teams aren't making it
It ain't... You think Claxton is giving Kyrie and KD this beautiful ability to just come off any screen and shoot, rise up over people?
On screens, it oftentimes leads to really easy shots.
Fuck, if there was a chair there, they could do that.
There's creativity and complexity to their offense now, like on this play where Claxton ghosts this screen, bringing Porzingis into the paint with him, and then Kevin Durant and Royce O'Neal get into the pick and roll.
Royce O'Neal's a decent set
shooter. When the defense
shooter.
hedges the pick and roll, Durant makes a nice pass to O'Neal on the roll, bringing over the corner defender to tag him, which leaves Edmund Sumner open in the corner for the shot.
Edmund Sumner.
Similarly, on this play,
Who the
KD
heck
and
is
Claxton
that?
get into the pick and roll with Durant once again finding Claxton on the roll following the hedge, and Claxton drives into the paint to collapse the defense, leaving Harris open in the corner.
It ain't that hard, man. You're always going to double KD and Kyrie off of that pick and roll. They're going to force them to get it out of the hands, and it goes... KD makes the right play, the quick right play to Claxton. It's up to the middle guy, the nail guy, the roll guy, the pop guy to move that ball quickly, make a decision quickly.
Instead of pulling the three immediately, Harris makes the
Because that's not a good pass.
extra pass to Thomas on the wing for the shot.
That was a good pass. It'd be right on the money and Joe Harris would shoot it, but he jumps up in the air and this is a high pass.
Instead of pulling the three immediately, Harris makes the extra pass to Thomas on the wing for the shot.
I guarantee you Joe Harris is better shooting
Despite
than that guy.
not really having a quote-unquote true point guard, Their fundamental understanding of how their pick and rolls force defense
Watanabe!
help and how
Out of nowhere, great
up
three-point
perimeter
shooter.
opportunities
Not great,
is a
good.
staple of what makes this offense so
He's got to do it for a
unique.
longer period of time.
There's just so much selfishness as well. Like on this play, going from Kyrie to O'Neal, back to Kyrie, then back to O'Neal, then to Durant.
This is a lot of dribbling by Kyrie, but that's greatness. They're double teaming him and forcing anybody else
and
to
then
shoot
finally
it.
to Harris in the corner. Look at how much that all of this passing manipulated the defense to generate that opportunity.
You ain't double teaming any random person in the corner.
And Kyrie Irving on it has the chance to be really, really good, but it's the sum of its parts that really makes this offense what it is.
No, it
The
ain't.
supporting cast benefits from the gravity of Durant and Kyrie and Durant benefit from the support that the cast provides.
When role players start to fill their role really good, they get way too much credit.
You can't have one without the other.
They deserve credit, but
Now, you probably noticed in that chart that I showed you earlier.
little. That's why they get paid a fraction of what the superstars get paid.
Than they are anywhere else on the floor. Now, in the modern NBA analytics era, in the whole disdain that people have for the mid-range as far as whether or not it's an efficient shot, it's pretty unusual to see a team attempting so many shots in the
Two
mid-range.
guys
And even
fading
more
the
impressive,
baseline.
hitting them as well as the
Triple
Nets are.
team.
You might have heard the saying that
How many guys are
it's
going
pretty
to
unusual to
drive
see a team
baseline,
attempting
rise
so
up,
many
controlled
shots in the
fade?
mid-range.
How many guys are going to drive to this corner,
And even
right?
more impressive,
Understand that he's not going to get blocked. KD's not cutting. Understand PJ Tucker's not coming to help.
hitting them
And just rise up.
as well as the Nets are. You might have heard the saying that 33% from three.
misses that, you're gonna say it's a bad
33%
shot.
From two. This is because 33% from three is the equivalent of 1 point per shot attempt, and 50% from two is equal to 1 point per shot attempt.
Not all threes are created equal. An easy catch and shoot three, that's what everybody wants. An easy transition three is what people want. They want dunks. But a lot of guys are taking bad threes, so then they say, hey, why don't you take an easy two?
This has led many people to operate under the philosophy that mid-range shots are just not efficient shots, which in most cases is true because you're better off trying to shoot above 50% at the rim or above 33% from three, which in theory is easier than shooting efficiently enough from the mid-range for it to be worthwhile.
In theory, you get those super high pick and rolls, and then you get those floaters that are basically free. Anywhere from that little gap between the three-pointer and the free throw line, people are just zoning off and giving you that little floater. So why not just work that floater, that little mid-range pull-up?
Especially when you look at the fact that league average mid-range efficiency is 42.4%. That only equates to about 0.85 points per shot.
Analytics.
The Nets, however, are
You can always bend it to however the hell you
21%
want.
from the mid-range, which equates to approximately 1 point per shot attempt. And that's just
Check
from
out this
the
book.
mid-range.
Hold on real quick. How to lie with statistics. This is for business, but clearly it applies.
The Nets as a whole are shooting 58.8% on all two-pointers, which comes out to 1.18 points per shot attempt. Remember how I said 33% from three is the same as 50% from two? Well, the league average three-point efficiency is 36.2, which equates to 1.09 points per shot attempt. So despite taking
These league averages are like the minimum. If you guys are working on your game, you better be able to shoot better than that, especially if nobody's guarding you.
three-point efficiency is 36.2, which equates to 1.09 points per shot attempt.
League average in general, I think, has been going up. I think before it was 33, and then it moved up to 34. Right now, 36. That's pretty high.
So despite taking more shots in the mid-range than anywhere else on the floor, they're defying the traditional belief that the mid-range shot is a quote-unquote bad shot because they're just simply good enough to take them and make them.
Or has the league's defense switched to just take away threes and dunks? So they're giving these mid-ranges now.
When you consider the mid-range scoring prowess of players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, this probably doesn't come as the biggest surprise in the world. but it actually goes a step further. The Nets have 4 players attempting more than 2 mid-range field goals per game while shooting 50% or higher. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, and TJ Warren.
TJ Warren, dude, he's a sleeper if he gets any minutes and if he's productive. He's really good.
A single team in the NBA that has more than one player doing that besides the Brooklyn Nets.
No team in the NBA.
Seth Curry and TJ Warren. There isn't a single team in the NBA.
To shoot from the mid-range one, you got to have the ability to rise up and shoot with a high release or just be very tall. You got to have comfortability dribbling, going right, going left. And people have to run you off of the three-point line. So you have to have a respected three-pointer too. So, yeah, TJ Warren can do it. Seth Curry can do it. KD, obviously. Kyrie, obviously.
That has more than one player doing that besides the Brooklyn Nets. Real quick, guys, I want to thank the sponsor.
If they get anything productive out of TJ Warren, he was a really high pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Would be a little bit disingenuous, but that's not to say that the team as a whole isn't doing a lot to generate some of these shots for them.
Patty Mills.
Their movement off the ball has been fantastic, and they make intentional use of screens to generate good looks and force mismatches to create shots in the mid-range. They've leaned heavily on pin-down screens, with Curry coming up to receive the ball here, and then right into this screen from Morris.
Who's that, Marcus Morris Sr.? He's a solid three-point shooter,
to
too.
Get into a completely uncontested shot. On this one, KD receives the pin-down, coming up to receive the ball here.
This is such a typical shot that if you want to excel, there's certain shots that you just need to work on. This little handoff on the wing, you get this little pitch. Can you go full speed, one dribble, settle down into a shot?
On this one, KD receives the pin down from Kyrie to get the ball near the elbow before getting the ball back to Kyrie on the wing. KD sets a screen for him, but with the Wizards,
you got that whole side for KD to operate.
Kyrie, it leaves Durant wide open in the corner to get the ball back and pull the baseline shot. This play starts off with Claxton screening for O'Neal, but keep an eye on KD as the play develops. He's going to loop around from the paint over to the corner while Claxton and O'Neal run this handoff, which leads to another handoff from O'Neal to KD for him to get into the jumper.
Maybe the footwork on the catch.
Like I said, I won't pretend their mid-range scoring doesn't benefit a ton from just how incredible Kyrie and KD are as isolation creators in the mid-range.
Kyrie has really stepped up his game off the dribble. I mean, not off the dribble, off the ball.
From the paint over to the corner while Claxton and O'Neal.
Look at KD moving. Do you see LeBron moving through the lane like this?
Which leads to another handoff.
Here he keeps moving. He keeps moving. Right, hop, boom, catch it, replace the feed.
For him to get into the jumper. Like I said, I won't pretend their mid-range scoring doesn't benefit a ton from just how incredible Kyrie and KD are as isolation creators in the mid-range, but there's just so much more going on to generate a lot of these good looks. The implications that this insane mid-range shooting ability has for the postseason are pretty significant. With so many teams opting to play drop coverage against the pick and roll, the Nets are going to be able to punish it by dribbling into open pull-ups. Alternatively, if teams decide not to drop against them in the pick and roll and instead they try to hedge, well, then I already showed you what the Nets are capable of when teams are hedging against them. They've just got too many good passers and too good of chemistry. You won't be able to get away with hedging their pick and rolls. It's going to take a team that's highly switchable and positionally versatile to slow this team down. This offense is a well-oiled machine, and it's clear that this team has bought into the leadership from Jacques Vaughn. After his start to the season,
damn, no Ben Simmons videos.
Asking if the Nets should blow it up.
Where's his jumper?
It now looks like we should be asking ourselves the question, can this Nets team make it out of the East? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, let me know.
The game, it always moves in cycles, right? You go from a big man to a little man game, little man game, fast pace to slow pace. You got to switch it up. Like I said, if you keep doing what everybody in the pack is doing, you're going to lose unless you're the leader of the pack. If you're chasing and you're not going to be better than them, you have to find a different strategy. So everybody for a while was, and still kind of copying that Golden State model. But before the Golden State model, it was like the triangle offense. But now it might be big basketball or winning with mid-range basketball. You have to be able to find a new strategy and stick with it based off of your personnel. If you're just chasing and being just slightly good at copying somebody else, you're never going to win. So you just got to take the risk and go for it with a new strategy. The Brooklyn Nets, they might have something. Let's see it as they go. Until next video, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.